What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming and my friends. I am back! Alright, so I got another episode of Tabletop Takeout Tuesday for you. Now remember, this is a series where I'm not reviewing a game. This is a series where I'm telling you about a game I love. This is the way I'm telling my friends when I want this game to get to the table. Alright, so the game I got today, now this is not the first game by Osprey Games that has actually made this list. And I don't think it's going to be the last one. But this is a game by Osprey that was very successful last year. They have an expansion coming out this year, so that's always a good sign for a game, right? Usually. So the game I want to talk about is called The Lost Expedition. Now, The Lost Expedition falls into a category of board games that there's a few of. There's not a lot. I don't think there's enough, actually. The market is definitely not flooded with this type of game like it is with Cthulhian-based games or zombie games, that's for sure. This game is based on a history. This game is based on actual, factual history. Now, I don't have it all memorized. I wish I did. I wish I was smart enough to have all this memorized for you, and I don't. That's why I wrote down a couple of notes. So this game is based on the actual lost expedition of Percy Fawcett. Who was Percy Fawcett? That's a name I hadn't heard since I've been a little kid in school. So I actually had to do a little bit of looking up to refresh my memory of who Percy Fawcett was. So, make sure I got it right, got some notes, so I don't want to mislead you. Unless I've been misled, then it's not on purpose. So, Lieutenant Colonel Percy Harrison Fawcett, DSO, a British military man. He was an artillery officer during World War I. He was a British geographer, cartographer, archaeologist, and pretty much a generally professional explorer. This is back in the early 1900s when there was an opportunity to be an actual professional adventurer. Now, he had explored South America several times, and in 1925, May 29th, 1925, at the age of 57 years old, Percy Fawcett, his son, and his son's friend were never heard of again. Now, he had previously explored South America and was convinced that he could find what he was the first one, by the way, to dub the Lost City of Z. And that's what his last expedition was about, trying to find it. So as I said, there's not a lot of board games out there that are based on actual, true, historical accounts. I think the only other two in my collection off the top of my head that I can think of would be Francis Drake, the board game, and another one actually by Osprey as well, and will be on this list on one of these Tuesdays, and that's Escape from Colditz, which was about World War II. So there's a few. I have a couple. There's a few more in the market, but like I said, it's not flooded with true history games. This is one of them. Sort of. You're not playing Percy Fawcett, you're not playing his son, you're not playing anyone in his expedition. You're playing another expedition that's been sent against Percy's best wishes, which he even said in his very last telegram that if anything happened to him, there was to be no rescue. So this game, I guess, is a what if, to put it in Marvel terms. What if a rescue attempt was made? That's what this game is bringing you. Now, this game, because of that, is not dealing with any fantasy whatsoever. It's a card-based game, and you're basically trying to overcome difficulties per card in order to advance and eventually find the lost city of Z. Now, because that it uses realism, there's not going to be any flights of fancy. Everything that these cards depict, that Pierre Sylvester created for this game, are all based on real incidences that are known to have happened to explorers in that time period. Things that they had to deal with, from snake bites and disease and getting lost, running out of food, being attacked by wild animals. These are what you have to overcome. And the realism of this is such a breath of fresh air in the gaming world. It really is. It shows how amazingly difficult this expedition would have been in that time period. I'm not saying that it's going to be a cakewalk right now. In fact, even in today's technology, I would rather not do it myself. But 1920s? Wow, that was really tough. So the game is going to be a series of event cards, basically. You have the daytime or morning events, and then you're going to have the evening as well. And during each of those phases of the day, there's going to be a series of cards laid out that you and your team of 3 are going to have to overcome. It's a team of 3. It's a fully cooperative game. You and your friends are not playing individual characters or adventurers. You are playing part of a group of 3 adventurers that are trying to make it to Lost City of Z and maybe find out what happened to Percy Fawcett. So you're working together, you're trying to overcome things based on the 3 explorers that you're using. Now, there are 6 explorers in the game, and they're 2x2. There's a male, female that are identical for camping expertise, for navigation expertise, and geez, what was the last one? Camping, navigation, and hunting? You'll see in a minute when I put the cards up. They'll be right up here. So the characters are really just, for your own personal theater of the mind effect, since they're all exactly the same. They can each do either one or the other of the 3 areas of expertise. So that's what you're going to have to do. And as you overcome each of these, you're going to get a chance to claim the rewards in the cards. Maybe the rewards on the cards is you found some bullets. Let me tell you something. Finding bullets in the Amazon in the 1920s? Don't count on it. And the game is appropriate. Bullets are really hard to find in the game. So you want to use them as little as possible, and really when when it's life or death. Because if you lose one of your explorers, you got the other 2, and to pull up the expertise that you're missing from the other one, it's going to cost them twice as much. Twice as much. Cost them what? Health. Every time you're going to do something, you're going to need to use you sacrifice a health from one of these experts. And if you don't have an expert, you got to sacrifice 2 healths. So, man, they're going to be dropping like flies if you lose that expert. You don't want to do that. So the game is going to continue until you get to the last card. There's a series of cards, almost like tiles, that are going to be laid out, which is your journey. It's your expedition. And if you make it to that very last card, you found the Lost City of Z and you've won the game. Solo-wise, I have never won. And you guys see my solo showdowns. I am not very lucky or skillful to some of these games when it comes to playing them by myself. Playing in teams, I've won. I've won the game several times playing in teams. I have not played competitively. This game also plays competitively if you want. You can have your team versus the other team going out to see who gets there first. This game is so much fun. We have never not had fun. We have never ended a game session and be like, oh, geez, wow, I should have played something else. Maybe I should have played Monopoly. No, never! But we have so much fun with this game. The Lost Expedition, the cards, the artwork on the cards is beautiful. It's so reminiscent to Tintin, if you're familiar with that old comic strip. And one of the reasons for that is the art style of Tintin is very indicative of the art style of the 1920s. It's familiar. And that adds a sort of thematicness to the game that I think is very pleasing. Opens it up, makes it that much cooler. You know what I mean? So the artwork is great. How the stories progress because of the realism of it, it's great. You got to play this game. And also, by the way, like I said in the beginning, if you like this game, they have an expansion coming out later this year. And it's going to be a little more fantasy, but that's okay, I think. In fact, they have 2 promo sets out right now, which cover more fantasy settings of expeditions. What is it? The Lost Idol, which is a magic idol. It's 3-card promo set. One card you get possessed, another one you get attacked by the idol, and I can't remember what the 3rd one is. And then they have another one, The Lost World, which introduces dinosaurs. It has 3, again, it's a promo pack. It has 3 cards with dinosaurs on them. And I think that this expansion is going to be following suit with some of that, because it has to do with, in fact, it's called The Fountain of Youth. And it has to do with the conquistadors, and judging by the cover, zombies. You can't get away from zombies in board games. All right, my friends, so The Lost Expedition by Osprey Games is definitely a game you want to get to your table. You're going to want to play. You're going to have fun playing this. In fact, you're going to be replaying this because this game is so replayable because of the deck of cards and how they come out, how they situate themselves. In the daytime, you got to put them numerically in order. At nighttime, they come out the way they lie. So, oh man, the replayability of this game is great. So, the Lost Expedition by Osprey Games, that is the subject of today's Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. So that's a game that I think you should play. All right, my friends, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Games, and you know that we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for sharing. That is like the coolest thing when you guys share my videos. Thank you so much. And I am